Hello friends, we are here today in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, the last chapter in the book of 2 Corinthians. And so Paul is essentially just saying goodbye, but he makes 3 points. I'll mention the third because it seems insignificant in comparison to the other two. And that is, he's writing this with his own hand. That's important, he's saying, this is how I write. This is my handwriting. I'm writing this with my own hand. So earlier in this book, Paul had said that some other people were claiming to be him, or getting a letter claiming to be him. And so he's saying, I don't want you to be fooled and thinking that a letter is not from me when it's not from me. So when I write you a letter, I will say, this is me writing with my own hand, and you can look at my handwriting. Another thing that he's probably saying here is that he's got really bad handwriting. He kind of mentions that in a lot of his epistles, that he's kind of embarrassed of his handwriting because his eyesight is so bad. Anyway, what he says in the beginning of the chapter is very significant though, and that is that he asks the people from Thessalonica to pray for him. Now, he is mentioned in this book and the last one probably at least 5 times so far that he is praying for them. And he is praying that God would bless them and bring them through all of these. It's extremely windy out right now. So I'm walking in a parking garage so that the wind doesn't ruin the video. Anyways, Paul has said continually that he is praying for the church in Thessalonica. And he does, over and over again. He wants them to get through all this persecution and not to lose the faith. But here he's saying, pray for me. I think this is important. How often do you pray for those who pray for you? My mom prays for me. I don't know how often I pray for my mom. My pastors pray for me. I don't know how long I pray for them. My grandparents pray for me. I think we often forget that everybody needs prayer. And the people that are in leadership, the people that are really at the front ends of the spiritual warfare that goes on, they need prayer probably even more than we do. So the way this applies to us is I would just say, pray for those who are praying for you. Not just those who are praying for you, but make sure not to forget to pray for the people that pray for you. So then the last point that Paul makes here is that he doesn't want the people to stay idle. He mentioned this briefly in the last book also. He says, I don't want you to be idle. And what he's talking about is that there was a bunch of people that are living there in Thessalonica, and they wouldn't work. They would get patronage from rich people, and they would just kind of live off of their wealth, and so they wouldn't work. And Paul is saying, here, when I came to you, I was working. And it should be said that, as a traveling minister, the people that you're ministering to, they should pay your way. But Paul is saying, I didn't have you pay my way. I worked to come and minister to you. He even says in 2 Corinthians that other pastors or even apostles, Peter would come and they would pay Peter. But Paul says, no, I don't want it to be like that. I want to pay my own way so that anybody claiming that I had any ulterior motives for spreading the gospel, they wouldn't have that reason. So Paul is saying here, look, I paid my own way. You should pay your own way. And what's a more important fact behind this idea is that as Christians, we should be paying for other people. We should be a force, not that leeches off of others, but a force that really gives to the world around us. We should be a force that feeds the poor and the hungry. So he's saying, don't be idle. When you are living the Christian life, there is so much to be done. It is such a broken world, and the way that God chooses to heal the world is through the people that believe in him. We should never be idle. We have no reason in the world to be idle. We can pray, we can work. I think that God really gave us work as a blessing, something that we should be proud of doing. And we worship a God that in the very beginning of time, we have a God with his hands in the dirt creating people. And he made us creative as well. And he gave us things to do, glorious things that really glorify him. So he's saying, don't be idle. If you find anybody being idle, that's not paying for their own food, then they don't get to eat. So that is 2 Thessalonians chapter 3. Have a great day. Bye.